Choosing Chaos, Solo Motherhood by Choice, the podcast for women who are done waiting for the one and ready to become the parent on their own damn terms. We're talking fertility, pregnancy, emotional chaos, and the village that it takes to raise a kid. Sometimes you're crying in the bathtub. Sometimes you're crying because your toddler bit you. And sometimes you cry because you chose all of this. Welcome to Motherhood, solo style. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Choosing Chaos, Solo Motherhood by Choice. I am your host, Laura. You know, sometimes timing really does play a huge role when it comes to fertility. And as we get older, that timing can feel like it's working against us in more ways than one. Today, we are talking with Andrea, who knows that journey all too well. After facing infertility, and let me pause for a second to say that I hate saying infertility because it sounds incredibly harsh. But after facing infertility and going through several rounds of treatment, she turned to an option she'd prepared for years earlier. One that ultimately made all the difference in her journey. We can't wait for you to meet Andrea and hear how she embraced becoming a single mom by choice, building her family completely on her own terms. Let's dive in. Hello, welcome to Choosing Chaos. Andrea, how are you doing today?
Very good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. We connected on Instagram a while ago, but I'm glad to have you here to share your story. Can you take us back to the moment where you first decided to pursue motherhood on your own at 39, right?
Yeah, 39, but that wasn't the original plan. So I guess if I take you really back, my mom went through menopause early, and that freaked me out. Back in 2016, I decided to freeze my eggs. And at that point, I was 2 months before I turned 34 years old.
Really?
Completely thought it was just an insurance plan. Never thought I would cash in on them. Fast forward to 2019, and I was ready to go. I went to see a maternal fetal medicine doctor just because I have ulcerative colitis, and she recommended RA for me. And I was about to make the appointment, and a week later, I got laid off.
Oh,
And I was actually in the process of closing on my first home. It was like everything at once.
oh my gosh, I'm so
So,
sorry.
yeah.
That's a lot of
No,
stress to go through at one time.
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's taught me a lot though, but
How did you manage the
um
stress during that time before we dive into the rest of your story?
I mean, I feel like it's always when you're going through it, like it's a struggle because you don't always see the light at the end of the tunnel until you're there. But looking back, it's taught me that I am super resilient when other things come up. Like I know that I'll pull through, which my journey has proved many, many times to throw
Yeah.
curveballs.
Yeah, you're capable of anything.
Yeah. I think
Hmm.
all single moms by choice are though. This
It's
is
true.
a path that we set out on knowing we're doing it alone. It's something we want so bad, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah.
pay for it. We put the dedication into it,
Yeah.
the time commitment, everything. We want it. Through all these stories of people telling me, we are very strong women, no matter what. And a
Yeah.
lot of us were
We are.
independent to begin with.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, it's
So
definitely not a path for everyone. Sorry.
it's
Yeah.
not. No, no, no. You're good. Yeah, it's not a path for everybody. But okay, so you froze your eggs.
Froze my eggs. So yeah, so 2019 when I went to the doctor and decided I was ready, and then I got laid off, I decided to take a pause, reevaluate, travel, furnish my new home. I did all of that, and then COVID hit. So I stayed laid off for a year and a half, actually.
Oh,
And during that time, I was trying to just like make ends meet. Unemployment was like awful. And I was doing like some styling on the side, and someone that I
okay.
was styling was an executive assistant, and she's like, "This is a good job for you. Like you're super type A, it's flexible, it's good money." And so I made a complete career change from fashion marketing to being an executive assistant. And then about a year into that, I decided I was ready to start again, and that's when I started my journey. So it was I guess by the time that I went back to the reproductive endocrinologist, it was September 2021. I went from being ready at 37 to not starting until 39.
But during that time, I mean, you had a lot of life changes, right?
A
And
ton, a ton.
yeah, yeah. And that's a lot of stress on one to begin with, which should they say as you're going through this journey to try not to stress yourself out, which is easier said than done, correct?
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's stressful to begin with. I mean, every cycle is stressful. Did
Right.
you do IUI or IVF?
Well, my insurance, gotta love the insurance companies, said that I
Obviously.
had to do 6 IUIs first.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. So my first IUI, I did, and I actually took my pregnancy test at home on New Year's Eve of 2021. My appointment wasn't until a few days later in January, and I tested positive, and I was pregnant, and I was so excited. It was a nice, strong pink line. When I went to the doctor, they said that my numbers were pretty low, and sure enough, I had a chemical pregnancy a few days later.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I think like for me, I have never tried before at that point. And
Hmm.
so I didn't know like how it would go. So I really didn't have any expectations. But then to see the positive and have it taken away just as quickly, it was like really disheartening.
It's crushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
But
I'm so
I
sorry.
kind of was in a mindset where I felt like I was already 39 and I did not have time to waste. I didn't want to take a break. I wanted to keep going. I did two more back to back, IUI 2 and 3, zero results. And then IUI number 4, I got pregnant again. And that time, it looked good in the beginning. However, like about the 5 week mark, it looked like the embryo was measuring about a week behind. I was going to a radiologist specifically to see like on a better ultrasound at the hospital. They wanted to just like make sure, and it was measuring behind for sure. They didn't think it was a viable pregnancy. And then I wind up miscarrying on my own at about seven, I think it was like 7 weeks and like 2 days.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
after two, what were your emotions like?
I that one destroyed me. I could get
Yeah.
emotional like talking about it again.
Okay. It's okay.
I don't want to ruin my makeup because I never wear makeup anymore, except for
Same.
today. So,
Same. But I've started keeping tissues because the last few people I've spoken to, they've got me crying.
yeah.
But it's okay. It's
Um,
okay to cry here.
yeah. Yeah, that one just like made me doubt everything.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure like if I was meant to be a mom, like was this even gonna work for me? At that point I had ran out of my savings that I was using for this, and I had
Yeah.
thought at the time that I had good insurance and I still like had the copays and all of these things that you were paying for, and I quickly
Which is so
ran out.
expensive. Yeah.
Right. I quickly ran out. And so I didn't know what to do, but I knew I wasn't ready to give up. I felt like I was going to be a mom, and I didn't know like when my turning point would be, but I was ready to use any resource possible. So if this didn't work, did I have to go to donor embryos? Did I have to go to surrogacy? Did I have to adopt even? Like I was determined to be a mother no matter what.
Right.
At that point, my doctor actually recommended that because of the two losses that we just moved straight to IVF, and like they put in for it and it was approved.
Good.
And I had my frozen eggs from
Oh
when
yeah.
I was 34. I was using those, which were at that point 5 years younger than me, right? So it was
Yeah.
great.
Right. So with that, when you go through the IVF process, and I'm sure you're going to get to this, but do you, and you're using frozen eggs, do you kind of skip that initial part, the whole
Yep.
shots and transfer or
Yep.
retrieval,
It's
sorry.
that. Yep, the retrieval is done. I have my eggs were on ice already for 5 years.
Wow.
So I just went straight to, they actually put me on the pill so I can get my cycle regulated. And then I just, I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't think I took letrozole or anything like that. I do remember that when it came time for it, I did sorry, I'm blanking, the progesterone suppositories. I think that was
Oh
like the
yeah.
only medicine that I took. And I did that from the day of the transfer up until a certain
10
point.
weeks.
Yeah, 9 or 10 weeks or something like that. But I didn't take any other medication if I remember correctly. Honestly, it's so blurry.
Progesterone is supposed to help you from miscarrying. That's my understanding.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. But just a side note, the one thing that I did do differently was I felt, and my doctor said she didn't really think it made a difference, but I felt like, why did I get pregnant twice out of four tries and it's not sticking? And I don't know why something in my head told me to change donors, and I did. So
Oh,
so I changed donors because I was like, what if I'm just not compatible with this donor? I
right.
mean, everything was good on paper. Like I went through like the genetic counseling and they said this is a good match for me. But for some reason, I was just like, it's not sticking. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why am I
Yeah.
getting pregnant and it's not sticking? Twice. I did change donors before I did my FET.
I mean, it could have been that his swimmers just weren't compatible or whatever. Yeah.
And it could have worked down the line, who knows? But like something in my head was like change, and I changed.
Yeah. And how far are
Um,
you willing to go, especially like being 39, right? Because I'm 40 and like I get it.
but
If I were to try for a second one, there's a timeline there for us.
yeah,
It's unfortunate, but
yeah.
there is. So with this one, you had your transfer, and what were the next steps like?
I had my transfer on July 23rd of 2022. I literally remember that day so clearly. I got in the car and I heard this song by Lizzo, which was like so popular at the time. It's About Damn Time. I don't remember like the exact title, but do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
that's actually the name of it is it's about
Oh,
teen
okay,
time, I
maybe it
think.
is.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been hearing it. It was like popular, but I actually listened to the words and I was like, something, I was like, it's gonna be okay this time. I just didn't feel as stressed as the other four times. I
Yeah.
went home and made myself a yummy breakfast. I watched some funny TV and like kept my feet up all day. And it actually wound up being a positive pregnancy, and I got pregnant with my
Yay.
daughter.
So
But
you knew that it was a girl, right?
I didn't know. No, I didn't know actually yet. I
Okay.
actually found out at a gender reveal with my family and
Oh my
and a few
gosh.
friends at about like 16 weeks. I waited because I had such a bad taste in my mouth from the first two miscarriages
Yeah.
that I don't think it was about until 20 weeks that I felt like a little bit of a sigh of relief until I had my anatomy scan. I remember the morning of my gender reveal actually. I know
Yeah.
I'm skipping around a little bit,
Oh,
but
you're
I
okay.
called my I called my mom and I was like, I think we should cancel. Like maybe I'm being like too positive and it's too soon to like be like doing something like this. I was so nervous. The whole
Yeah.
pregnancy I was so nervous.
Yeah.
Um and
But
she's
I
like,
get
"No,
that.
this is gonna be fine."
Yeah.
And you know what? It was, thank God.
Hmm.
But that experience made me feel very different. And I almost feel like it took a little bit away from me because someone who just gets pregnant like easy and on their own or even by accident, like they don't have that experience to go through or
Right.
that worry in the back of their head.
Right. We only have so many vials of sperm. So, I mean, people
Correct.
who can easily get pregnant and have a partner, they can keep trying, whereas we are limited to our amount of tries that we can have. But,
Yeah.
being so far along and then having a loss and then being a little further along and having a loss, I can understand why that would cause you any sort of concern to want to share. But that's
Yeah.
not where your scares sort of ended throughout your pregnancy, right? Because you had some further down the road with hypertension, right?
Oh yeah, just like you. I mean, my pregnancy actually, like aside from the worry, was great and I loved being pregnant. After like the first few weeks of extreme nausea and we finally like did the Unisum B6 combo, like that helped. But I loved being pregnant. I felt sexy. My hair was thick. I was just like I felt great. Like I wish I could be pregnant forever. Um
Minus the sickness. Yeah.
Correct. But yeah, it was about, so we had always planned to induce at 39 weeks because of my age.
Yeah.
And then at 36 weeks, I went in for like my regular appointment and they were like, your blood pressure seems to be creeping up a little bit. We're going to schedule you for an induction at 37 weeks. And I was like, no, I'm not ready. I have two
Mhm.
weeks left. Like, what do you mean? I was like, literally for those 2 weeks, I was just so nervous, freaking out. I was like, no, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And I was ready. Like everything was ready. The crib was ready. My bag had been packed. Like I was ready.
Yeah.
But in my head, I was just like, 2 weeks early. Yeah, they wanted to get the baby out because they were afraid that I would go into preeclampsia. And I was induced and I didn't. But 4 days after, I had to go in for a blood pressure check because of that reason. And they found that my blood pressure was sky high, and they sent me immediately to the emergency room.
Oh gosh.
And now keep in mind, this is 4 days after I was discharged from having a child. My mom was freaking out. I was planning to exclusively breastfeed. What formula are we going to use? My mom's
Right?
running around town to try to find a CVS with formula with a 4-day-old baby. And I had to go into the hospital for 48 hours and do a magnesium drip,
Oh my gosh.
which was a very bizarre experience.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah.
I know that when you're in labor, you're not allowed to get out of your bed if they give you magnesium, but was it similar for post preeclampsia?
Well, the reason that you can't get out of bed is because you physically cannot.
Really?
I felt like a deer in headlights. I couldn't focus my eyes at all. It relaxes your blood vessels so that your blood will flow. And
Okay.
please, I'm not like clinical at all. So,
Same.
this might not be the right terminology, but it also relaxed me. And so I couldn't stand up. I would put my glasses on. I couldn't focus my eyes. Every single muscle in my body was so relaxed. A nurse had to help me every time I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
It was real. Someone would call me on my phone, and I would like pick up my arm, and it was so heavy I couldn't like hold my arm up with the phone, like my cell phone. It was ridiculous. It definitely helped. And then I was put on pressure medication for 3 months until I evened out, and then I've been fine
mhm.
since. I didn't know postpartum preeclampsia was a thing at all.
Right, same. Well, I take that back. I had a friend who had a very similar experience to you, where she actually had to go
Hmm.
back into the hospital. Mine, they sort of regulated just by a portal, and had
Okay.
me, and I'm sure the same for you, monitor at home twice a day, which was kind of a pain in
Yes.
the ass, if I'm being honest, because it's like this whole schedule, which I haven't talked about on the podcast yet, but like I felt like there was so much pressure on me, and then that added
Right.
to it, and it was like, oh my gosh, can we just take one thing off of my plate?
Yeah,
But
I know. Felt like a lot.
yeah, and so I had been a little familiar with post preeclampsia, but not aware of like the magnesium and everything, just that they would put somebody on blood pressure medicine. We were on it about
Hmm.
the same amount of time as 3
Yeah.
months post
Yeah.
to bring it down, which is so unfortunate. Being away from your daughter during that time had to cause so many emotions for you. You just had her. She's only 4
Yeah.
days old. You're away from her for 48 hours.
Yeah, it was really hard. I mean, I'm a new mom, so it was challenging, and I think it was hard for everyone, but my mom, like, I always say, like, she has been my partner in this. I wouldn't have been able to do it without her
Yeah.
because she, like, even through pregnancy and present day, like, she is just there for me constantly.
Moms, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
yes, they are.
Yeah. I
They
mean, we're
are.
moms now
She
too.
is. Yeah, we're amazing.
Yeah. Shout out to your mom. That's for sure, for
Shout out to
taking
yours.
care
Yeah.
of everybody.
Yeah,
So
yeah, she really
she,
does.
what did she know the schedule, or did she help you to set the schedule while you were
I mean,
away?
it was so early on. Like, there was no
Mhm.
routine yet. Well, I feel like my breastfeeding journey was twofold. I feel like because essentially my daughter was evicted, she
Yeah.
wasn't ready yet.
I say the
And
same thing.
because of that pause where I wasn't able to be with her and breastfeed, I didn't produce milk. So after
Yeah.
that, like, I could pump literally all day, and I would come up with half of a bottle.
Oh.
And it was so stressful because I wanted to do it so badly, but I was wasting so much time trying to produce
Mhm.
and pump and do everything, and it just wasn't working for me. I threw in the towel at about 3 months, and I feel like it was so much better after that. I was actually able to connect with her better too because I wasn't so focused on producing breast milk
There is so
and
much pressure
pumping.
on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you miss the prime cluster feeding too, which is a little bit of the reason why you didn't produce as much, but it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to put that much pressure on yourself with everything else being in the baby blues and then the blood pressure. It's a lot on you, which causes more stress, which then causes milk production to decrease, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Absolutely.
I think similar to you, when I decided to give up breastfeeding and pumping at, it was almost 7 months, I was
Oh,
like,
good for you.
I felt so much better about life after
Yeah,
that. Formula sucks to
I
pay
know.
for, I'll say that, but it is a huge relief, and you said it best, is you're able to connect more with your daughter. And I
Yeah.
don't know if you felt the same way. I felt like I missed out on so many contact naps when he was in the newborn stage because of all the other pressure to do the triple feeding.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Juggling, just cleaning up and doing other things. Yeah, I agree. It was
Hmm.
much better after.
Tell me about your daughter.
Oh boy, she has quite the personality. She's 2.5 now. You want to know something funny? I picked a donor both times who looked feature wise like someone that I would date, like
Hmm.
dark hair, dark eyes. I wanted someone who had a similar background to me, Italian and Irish. I made sure to pick someone like that. I made sure also to pick someone who was different than me in as the
Yeah.
donor is creative, plays music, does art. Like, I'm not creative. I can't even cut a straight line with a scissor, like awful. So I wanted someone, to fill in what I don't have, but also was similar. My daughter turned out with green eyes, curly, dirty blonde hair. It looks nothing like me. She's gorgeous, but
She
I
is
joke
beautiful.
that she has my, thank you. I joke that she has my big toe and my dramatic flair. That's pretty much it.
But as she
Yeah.
gets older, it might show she might show more of your features or more of your
Yeah.
characteristics. So that's
But
so
it's just
cute,
so
your
funny
big
because
toe.
he had dark hair and dark eyes, and she just turned out completely different. And it's funny because when I looked back, I used California Cryo, and they have like family history as well that the donor can submit. And on his father's side, his father's sister, so his aunt and the grandmother were blonde and blue eyes. And so he has very strong genes.
Oh, so she gets it
Yeah,
from that side.
from his side.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
wow.
Yeah.
At this point, her eyes won't change because she's over a year old.
No, and actually, the first year they were blue. Her eyes were like crystal blue, and then they settled on like a grayish green.
That's so
Yeah,
pretty. Weston
yeah,
has baby blue eyes too, and people are always complimenting. And now that he's over a year, I'm like, thank God they
yeah.
stuck.
They'll stick. Yeah, at this point,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. He has like a little brown freckle on his eye though, which is so cute.
Oh, really? Oh,
Hmm.
that's cute.
Yeah.
Like a little distinguishing
Yeah.
mark. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how have you been navigating ongoing health challenges while also being present as a mama?
I mean, so our whole first year, I think, was a huge blur for me.
Mhm.
Between the postpartum preeclampsia, the blood pressure, constantly having to take the blood pressure at home, the medication. I feel like we were riddled with doctor's appointments, and that was just for me on her end, like, God, there's been so much. At 2 months,
Oh,
we started measuring 99 percentile as far as head circumference. And so we were doing a ton of testing the entire first year to make sure that everything was okay. We had MRIs, we had genetic testing just because, you only know so much.
right.
I mean, every knock on wood, everything. I mean, still at this point, at 30 months, she's still 99 percentile with her head, but now her body's catching up.
Oh,
So
good.
we had a lot of issues. She had torticollis, so we had to do physical therapy.
Hmm.
Um, it was a lot of doctor's appointments, but she is just a part of the big head club, which is what we discovered. And funny enough, the doctor who made that joke to us was a genetic specialist, and he also had a big head, so it was really funny. Um,
I didn't know that was a club.
You want to know all her donor siblings also have larger size heads, and their parents have told me that they all went through similar testing, and she's the oldest, but they all went through similar testing because in the beginning, like no one really knows. Like you have to go through it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it must just be that he carries that gene. Hmm.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
The big head club, is that what you called it?
Yeah, the big head club. She's gonna be smart. It's
Yeah, she
good.
is going to be
It's all
smart
good.
and
Right,
creative.
exactly. Right. There you go. Yeah. But like it was a relief to know like that was all it was and that she was okay. But it's still it was a really busy first year. She even had surgery a few
Oh,
days before she turned 7 months.
wow.
Our dermatologist, who we were going to because she had baby eczema, saw like this little patch of hair on her lower back on like a dimple, and she was like, "Don't freak out, but this is could be a soft marker for spinal issues." And
Oh,
so I brought it to the attention of our pediatrician, and she again, more testing. She had to have an MRI, which was devastating because they had to sedate her. And she had a tethered spinal cord.
Oh my
So
gosh.
basically, her spinal cord was pulled down one or two notches further than it should be. And the
No.
doctor we wound up going to, the pediatric neurosurgeon, was amazing. He was like, listen, it could be absolutely nothing. She could grow up with no issues whatsoever, but she could, when she's in her 20s or 30s, all of a sudden have, issues with her leg motility. She could have loss of like bladder or bowel movement control.
Oh
It
gosh.
could happen, but it might not.
Right.
And we decided to go ahead and take care of it just because at that point she was kind of just rolling around. She wasn't crawling yet. And they said that was the best time to do it. So we did.
Yeah.
We got home actually, the day we got home from the hospital was she turned 7 months. And 2 days after that, she was back to rolling. It was harder on me than it was on her, but it
They're
was
so
a
resilient.
rough, so resilient, but it was a rough first year for sure.
Oh, I can imagine. So this, now that she had surgery, it shouldn't cause any issues down the road.
You know what? So I attribute it to this, but she didn't walk until 18 and a half months. She's still not jumping. We actually recently got approved for very late in the game because I wasn't really aware of it. And actually, someone I think on your podcast was talking about this recently, but we just got approved for early intervention. And I wish I would have known sooner, but we just found out about it. And we're going to do physical therapy at home. We're just like waiting to connect with a therapist. And she also does feeding therapy through early intervention.
Oh, good. Yeah, Weston went
Yeah.
through early intervention for both. I was more terrified to give him solid, so I got him an
Yeah.
OT, and then he's been seeing a PT for potential torticollis as well, which I think it's
Yeah.
very common nowadays.
I think it's common too.
Yeah,
But you
but
don't realize how it could affect them. Like it even affects their balance.
yeah, 100%. And so I'm glad that you were able to get that. And they come into the home, but I don't know, does she go to daycare?
Right.
Because they also go to daycare too.
No, she's home. She's
Oh,
still home. My mom helps me with her.
love that.
And on the days that I work from home, I do double duty. So my brain is always spinning.
How do you manage that double duty? Because I tried it for a while
It's
on
hard.
Fridays and it was hard. Yeah.
It's hard. I wanted to send her to a choose program this school year, but I'm also in the process of buying a bigger home than before with more space. And
Yay.
so I just couldn't, yeah, I'm excited, but I couldn't afford to do both financially. My mom
Mhm.
has been great. She's been helping me since day one. I actually, before I got pregnant, asked if she would like help me and be my babysitter and all this. And I didn't start my journey until the year that she retired. Yeah, so like she has been great. But we are looking forward to 3K just because, you know, she's around adults all day. I mean, she's around adults all day. My niece comes over like once or twice a week, and my mom watches her also, but for the most part, it's my mom. She'll go for a walk with the neighbor, and Kiara is just friends with all the neighborhood ladies. We do play dates, but it's once a week. I can't swing that stuff during the week with work. And, I'm looking
Hard.
forward to having her in a little bit more of a structured environment. The days that I work from home, like today, my mom's getting all her appointments in. Kiara's sleeping. So, like, that's why I kind of scheduled at this time too. Miss Rachel helps a lot.
Oh, Miss Rachel is a
I
saint.
feel guilty about it, but, I'm doing the best I can. That's all I
Yeah.
could do. You know, I
I
think,
I think that it's okay to do it because and I know this is a very controversial topic, which I'm sure people have
yeah,
feelings about. I feel
yes, they
like it
do.
helps me to get the dishes done sometimes. He doesn't sit and watch it the whole time. I'm sure the same with your daughter. They just glance at it here and there, but you know what? Yeah, sometimes we need
Yeah.
tools.
Yeah, and it's helpful. And I think my daughter loves the TV, so she can sit there and like not move for like hours. With that, like kind of worries me a little bit. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. So
She sounds
it's
really chill.
temporary.
Yeah, it is
She
temporary.
is she's chill. She is a chill kid. We're starting the tantrum phase where it's
Oh,
like
mm,
screaming a
yeah.
lot, screaming when she doesn't get what she wants. But like she's my brunch buddy. Like I take her
Oh,
everywhere. She's pretty cool. I mean, she's a foodie. Yeah, she's a very even keeled kid, very sunny disposition, kind of flirts with like everyone she sees, like will bat her eyes, men more than anything, because I think we're not around men as often. So I noticed that like when we see a man, she's just like clings. She'd be like, hi, and I'm like, you can't talk to strangers. Like, what? Stranger danger. But no,
Right.
it hasn't
But
kicked in
that was a
yet.
cute one.
Right. But yeah, she is very easy. She's an easy kid, and I got lucky with that.
And she's mature for her age because she's hanging out with all the
Yeah.
adults. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's just one of
absolutely.
the girls.
Yes,
Where has
absolutely.
been your favorite place to take her?
We so thank goodness, because I did not know what I would do if I had a child who did not love the beach. I grew up at the beach. We would go all the time. I love the beach. I can go to the beach for 8 hours a day with nothing except, my food, like no book, like, and just like listen to the water and like relax, people watch. And I took her to the beach her first summer on this earth, and we've been going every summer since, and she is amazing at the beach. She's not one of those kids that I have to like literally chase around or like be in the water with all day. She loves digging in the sand. As long as she has her toys, like she's
Yeah.
pretty good. She loves
Yeah.
it.
Oh my
Yes, and that's
gosh.
our that's our favorite place. We go literally every Saturday and Sunday during the weekend, during the summer.
So I'm assuming it's close by, which I'm jealous about.
It's about like a 45-minute drive. I'm in
Oh.
Queens and we go to a beach in Long Island, so yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it's really close. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, 45 minutes
Yeah.
is perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not too close, not too far away.
Right.
What kind of support have you had since you had her outside of your mom? What's your village look like?
So, hadn't had very much of a village. I think going into it, I thought that I would, and
Yeah.
then it just turned out that I didn't. My dad and my stepmom, they split their time between New York and Florida, but even their New York location is 2.5 hours away, the upstate New York. So they're not close. My brother actually started his own family, and so our daughters are now 6 months apart, but he's busy. So that male figure that I thought I would have, I kind of don't.
Yeah.
But, on the flip side, I've connected with a lot of other single moms by choice.
Hmm.
I a few times I was featured on California Cryo's social media, and people had reached out to me, and I wound up finding a lot of people that were close to me logistically, and I feel like that's kind of been my village. Not to say that like I'm not calling up these women and saying, "Hey, like, will you babysit for me?" Like, not in that way, but we do things together, we meet, and I think that it's something a relationship that I want to nurture specifically because all of our children will be able to navigate being donor conceived together, and I mean, the oldest is my daughter's age. They're 5 weeks apart, and and then they get younger, but like they're all around the same age essentially, so they can grow up together. And so I feel like at first I was not as outspoken about my path as I am now, and I'm now trying to do more of these things because I want to connect with people. Like for me, I wish I had that resource when I was going through it, that I knew someone who did it and was
Yeah.
doing it on their own and like, yeah, like you're doing a great job kind of thing. And
Thank
I didn't
you.
have that. I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
Um, and so like now if someone reaches out to me, like I want to be able to talk to them and help them and not charge them like a consultation fee
Right.
or, like, because I see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've kind of set out to find my own village.
I think that's so inspiring. And your first place to reach out was to the other SMCs in the area. I know you had briefly mentioned about reaching out to and getting to know diblings, which we can get more into. But
Hmm.
when people reach out to you, what's sort of your advice that you give to them if they're considering going this route?
I mean, I usually share my story, but my advice is if this is something that you're even slightly considering, don't wait because you don't know how long it's going to take. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
have any thought that I could have infertility issues, and yet it still took me 8 months. And I know in the scheme of things, that's not as long as some other people
Yeah.
have taken to get to their happy ending, or maybe not even.
Yeah.
But I would say start sooner than later. I think that's my one regret is that I wish I did this earlier because I had my daughter at 40 and I am going to have less time with her on this earth than my mom has with me. And that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
That breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
Oh, I know how you
Yeah.
feel because our kids are not too far apart. And so I
Right.
get it because even considering having had him, I was like, by the time he graduates high school, I'm going to be like 60.
Right. Like, am I going
Which,
to be around to see like my grandchildren? Like, what if she has kids late in life like I did? It does scare me because I'm just like, I don't think health wise that I can have a second just because I've went through stuff with my health. And so I'm like, I don't want her to be alone, you know? That's why also making this village with other single moms by choice and their children is important to me as well.
yeah. And I mean, she has her cousin, which is close to
Correct.
her in age, but I think it's important to have that village that's close to her. And one of the things that I've heard a lot of women say through this podcast is don't wait because we've all sort
Don't
of
wait.
waited until 37, 38 older to make this decision. And it's sometimes just better to do it when you're younger, when you have the
I agree.
option to potentially have more. Like you said, you don't know how long it's going to take. It can take years for some people, which God bless them, the dedication to want to have a baby and put years into it. It's
Yeah.
emotionally exhausting. I
Yeah.
applaud them for all of their strength.
No, I do too. And I think that if I knew now, if I knew then what I know now, it would be so much different. But like at the time, like I was dating up until about a month before my transfer, before each IUI. Like I still was hoping for the traditional fairy tale story and, you know, hoping that I would meet someone and we would have a kid. But, at the end of the day, like, I wish at 30 something years old, I would have been like, you'll find love at any age. You could find love at 40, 50, 60, 80 years old. You're not going to be able to be a mom and carry
Yeah.
at that age. Prioritize what's really important to you. And I always felt more called to be a mom than to be a wife.
Yeah.
And so I wish I would have just been brave enough to do that
Yeah.
sooner.
Yeah. Do you, looking back at when you were 34, do you wish you would have done the process then?
God, I don't even know if I was like mature enough yet, you know?
I get
Like
that.
34 sounds like it's older, but 34 in New York City, I don't know. Like,
That's true.
it's
I
a
can't say
playground.
anything about that because I don't know the New York life, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I was like ready, financially ready, like, mature enough, but, you know, you can't go back, right? So,
We only learn and share our lessons
right.
through what we
Yes,
have
and
learned.
that's my advice
Yeah.
because of that reason.
Yeah. What has surprised you most about life as a mom or as a solo parent, I should say?
I think I think first of all, how little sleep you actually need is like no joke because
True.
before pre-baby, I'm like I have no time, I'm busy, I'm tired. And I'm just like, what? Like I wish that was how I felt now, right? Because that pre-baby busy, tired and all of that is totally different than post-baby. So I think that's one thing. Yeah. I think that's like the biggest thing though.
The sleep.
The sleep, yeah, the
Yeah.
sleep, like just being able to exist, like even in the newborn days, like I remember, like
Yeah.
at one point, it was like I looked at my Fitbit and I had like clocked like for maybe 7 hours, and it was like 4 days into the week, and I was just like the whole week I slept 7 hours, but I was like,
Gosh.
go, go, go.
Right. You just function
Yeah, yeah, and I
somehow.
also think like how resilient you can be
Mhm.
is surprising. Like almost kind of like you want to give yourself a pat on the back. You learn to make your finances go further and like you really prioritize because even if you make good money, you still have one income at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And so I feel like that's always a challenge, but you figure it out.
Yeah. Do you
I
have
mean,
any advice in that department for the listeners?
for financial.
Yeah, where you can stretch your money a little bit further.
I think like taking the help where you can get it, like I wanted to do, put my daughter in a choose program, but that was proving to be pretty expensive. And my mom was like, I'll help you, like save your money, you're buying a place. So I think if someone offers to help, don't try to do it on your own, even though we know that we can, because we went through this whole journey. I think take the help for sure.
That's
Yeah.
great advice.
And play dates too. Like play dates are great because you can go to someone's house and like, order in and next time they come to your house and order in, but like you're kind of like helping each other. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, we're going out here and like spending money, like to do things together.
Do you do a lot of play dates with the other SMCs then?
Yeah, we try. We try. We have one friend who we see like quite a bit. The kids are really close in age and we're hoping to be like betrothed. So she has a boy, I have a girl, and we're like, we got to get them married. Like they're so cute together. Yeah, we
It's
do.
meant to be.
Yeah. We actually so there's a little background to that story. We actually have the same name, first
I
and
know who this
last.
is.
Yes. And so I'm like, my daughter never has to change her last name. This is like wonderful.
Yes, and it's spelled the
Yeah.
same if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It is. Yeah.
Which is so crazy because when she reached out to me,
It's
I
so
was like,
crazy.
"Wait,
You thought
don't
it
I
was me?
already have something scheduled with you?"
Yeah. Yeah, she told me.
Yeah. Um, have you physically met the Diblings yet, or have you just virtually met the
No,
Diblings?
we've met virtually. I created a private Facebook group page. But there's one in Florida who is maybe about a year now. And they're both younger. And then there's twins in California. Um,
Crazy.
yeah. So we have never met in person. I feel like when they get older, we can maybe like do something or like meet in the middle somewhere. That would like be nice if they were
Yeah.
open to that. I think for me, like I want to foster the relationship now, and when she's older, if she decides she wants to continue it, that's her choice.
Yeah.
But at least like she's not starting from scratch at like 18.
Yeah. Has it been good getting to share like the personal experiences and understand the genetics and what they're going through,
Yeah.
and compare
Yeah,
it?
because I mean, like, well, my daughter is the oldest that we've found so far. And like for the dibling who just turned one, like that family is going through the head situation and going for testing, and she brought it up and then I told her my experience, and then the twins mom in California also like chimed in, so like to know that they're going through the same things is really helpful, especially like from medical history and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think like at this point they're still so young, so like really we're just like sharing updates and holiday photos and stuff like that, like just fun stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love for them to like connect one day
It would be
in
great if, like you
in
said, to meet
person.
in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. If anyone's coming to New York, like we can meet them, or we're going to
Yeah.
California or something like that. Yeah.
Right. That would be fun. I
Yeah.
know I know some people have mixed opinions on meeting the
Yeah.
Diblings families, but be open to it, I guess, is
Yeah. And
the
like at this point
advice.
too, it's just like they're kids. They could be friends. And
Yeah.
if they really want to have a deeper relationship when they get older, that's their choice.
Right. Yeah. Do they look alike, any of them?
So funny because yes, they do. And then the twins in California, it's a boy and a girl twin, but the boy twin looks so much like my daughter. It's like the head shape, the eye shape, the hair, like it's very, very similar.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh. What has been the most rewarding part about all of this, your entire journey?
I feel like there's something at every stage. Like in the beginning, like it was the contact naps, and then she started talking, and it was mama. Right now, we're in a phase where she'll give me a kiss unprompted and just like come up to me and give me a kiss. And it literally melts my heart. And it just makes like every stress and bad part of the day, work, whatever related, like just melt
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Yeah,
There-
it's the
There's
cutest thing. It's like I
there's
love
nothing
these
sweeter.
unprompted kisses. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy how they learn to just do that. And like they can sense and comfort us too, as much as we can sense and comfort them.
yeah.
What's something you wish people better understood about making this decision? I know we touched a little bit on that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely do your research. The more you talk about it, and this is something I've personally learned, the more I talk about it, the more I realize how many of us are out there.
Hmm.
At first, when I wasn't talking about it, I didn't know anyone. I felt very, like I'm breaking ground on this path, and it's really not the case.
Hmm.
I was a part of the Single Moms by Choice, organization. Like I had joined and I was a member, but like not that I knew anyone locally. I think the more that you talk about it, the more you'll realize there's so many people that are either already on this path or want to be. And so
Hmm.
I think talking about it is also really helpful.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like a taboo either. I think the more we talk about it, the more it kind of makes it like an okay thing and normal and kind of destigmatizes some of the thoughts people might have around it.
Hmm.
I still feel like a lot of people don't even know what SMC or SMBC stands for. They have no idea.
They have to Google it.
They have to Google it. Like if I say I'm a single mom by choice, sometimes I'll get like a reaction like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, like by choice. Like I intentionally set out to have a child. No one left me standing alone with a pregnant belly. That didn't
Yeah.
happen. This was a choice." And I
But
feel like I have to clarify that because it's not
right.
something that like you should feel bad about.
Yeah. I also feel like people intermix. What's the word I'm looking for? Choice and chance. Like they think they're the same thing.
Yeah, I
And
guess you're
it's
right. I
like,
didn't think about that.
well, I mean, to your point, nobody left me pregnant
Right.
or left me with a child. I made this decision on my
Yeah.
own. So, I mean, they're collecting child support, probably, maybe sometimes not.
Right.
But, here we are supporting everything on our own. I do think
Yeah.
what you said, though, about making it less of a stigma,
Stigma.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is very important because even
Yeah, I think so too.
in the beginning of my pregnancy before or I should say when I had announced, there was a lot of, did you hear what she did? Or,
Me
you know,
too.
some sort of stupid comments. And I'm sure you might have heard me say this before. It's like, aren't you going to hurt him by not giving him a father figure? And it's like, no. So
Yeah.
I think we need to just make it more of a thing where people understand that
Right.
this is a choice. We're doing this with intent, and there is no reason to give your opinions because really, frankly, we don't give a F about that. But we're doing this for a reason, and you know, we don't want to hear your crap.
Yeah. Can I tell you that when I didn't share my plan with many people while I was going through it. When I told my dad that I was pregnant, my dad is like super off the boat Italian. And his first question to me was, "What am I going to tell people?" Like, do I tell them? And he actually said, "Should I tell them that you had a boyfriend that left?" And I was like, "No, like that makes me sound like so sad." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Just tell them that your daughter's going to make you a grandpa and that you're excited about it, and period. And
yeah,
people will follow your lead. And if they don't know how that happened, they're not in our circle and it's none of their business."
right.
And, it's funny because baby comes and none of this stuff matters. Everyone's
Mm-mm.
excited, like they love her, they're happy, like it's not even a question.
Hmm.
And I'm sure these things will come up again when she's going to school and she's a little bit
Yeah.
older, but right now like life is normal.
People are always curious for
Curious.
yeah, about other people's life and their
Yeah.
reasons behind whatever they do. But again, there should be no reason to pass judgment on us for making this decision and or
Correct.
our children
Right.
because they don't have a father in their life. And I've said this before. There are families out there where people are married and they have children or they have children together. And
Right.
for whatever reason, sometimes those kids don't have a great dad or a dad
Right.
present
It
in their
happens all
life.
the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so we're giving them a better life. We're showing them love and what a
Yeah.
home looks like and support and growth and all of the things. And keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah, and we act as both parents a lot of the time. Like,
Hmm.
I try to do some rough housing, the best that I can, just so that she feels like, not everything is just delicate and dainty, right? I try to do as much as I can physically do to play both roles.
Hmm. I'll throw a ball when I'm older, when he's older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Me
Get me
too.
out there. I'll kick a soccer ball. I'll try to throw a football. I don't
Yeah,
care. It's fine. And if I can't do it,
right.
I'll get him involved in some sort of sport where he can
Some
learn it.
kind of sport. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. My
Yeah.
thoughts too.
People are silly. So, for someone listening who is just starting down this path, what type of encouragement would you give to them?
I think that if you're thinking about it, you are already stronger than you know, and you should just go forward. And I promise you, it will be the best decision you've ever made. I do
Mm-hmm.
not wake up ever saying I regret this. Like, I regret not doing it sooner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can relate to that.
So sorry.
Oh, you mentioned earlier that people will reach out to you. Where can people find you?
Yes. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Mama on My Terms, and it's MAMA, just the one. And yeah, I would love to talk to you. If you are in the Queens or Long Island area, you must join us during our next outing. Otherwise, like, I'd be happy to connect with anyone, give advice about my journey or listen to you about yours.
Yeah. Are there any last minute things that you would like to say to our listeners?
I'm so glad that you had me on, and like I said, I'm just happy to be able to talk about my journey and put myself out there more because I think it's just helping to give our community more light. So I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Thank you so much for joining. This is amazing hearing your story, but also being able to relate to you on so many different things. I feel like I could
Yeah.
have wrote your story um, with my own.
We do have a lot in
But
common.
it's yeah, but it's great that we have this little village and we're continuing to build it and connect all the different puzzle pieces across the globe with all of our stories and our social media accounts and whatever it might be. And so please don't be a stranger.
I won't. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Andrea's journey is incredibly inspiring, and it reminds us that building a family on our own terms is every bit meaningful and beautiful as everyone else's path. These days, she's loving life with her little girl, the best brunch buddy a mama could ask for. Along the way, she's been lifted by an incredible village, her family, especially her biggest champion, her mom, as well as local SMCs and the wonderful dibling families who've become part of her extended circle. If you would like to keep up with Andrea and her story, or if you have questions, you can follow her on Instagram at Mama on My Terms, where she shares the joyful, real moments of the amazing life that she has built with her daughter over the last few years. And remember, as always, if you are a listener of the show, go head on over to Instagram, Patreon, and TikTok to follow us more. Or if you would like to share some inspiring journeys, reach out to me directly. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time.